Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dani, and for today's video, we are going to be doing my everyday makeup routine. This is an updated version of this routine. I do have a video that I did 2 years ago of my makeup routine, and it has changed. I don't want to say drastically, but it has changed a little bit. I did do my best to make this as beginner friendly as possible. Just slow it down. If it's getting too much, just pause and slow it down and rewind. Okay, I found some new techniques that I absolutely love that I've been doing on my clients and myself, and I think I've perfected my routine. I did make sure to use all drugstore products because I wanted this to be beginner friendly. I don't always just use drugstore products, but for the purpose of this video, I made sure I did. This is the face I wear to work when I go out to run errands. I've had a lot of people ask me for a makeup tutorial, so here it is. So let's dive into my updated makeup routine. So I did the first part of my brows already. I wasn't going to do it in this video, my brow routine. If you want the full video of my brow routine, I can do that separate, but we're just going to start from here. I use this applicator. It's from e.l.f. It has like a little spatula at the end and then spoolie. It's called the Brow Lift Applicator. And then I put a little bit of Got2b in here. And I laminated my brows like normal, press down, push, push. Then I use this brow pen from SHEGLAM. I use the pen part. It is in the shade Chocolate. This is $3. And I just used it to make those like little hairs that you're seeing, just to fill up my brows. Because I do like a little bit of a fluffier look with my brows. Before, I used to like just a solid color, but now I don't do that anymore. So I'm going to do my skin prep first. For this step, I find extremely crucial because this will make or break your whole makeup look if you do not do this properly. For my personal skin prep, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Arbutin 2% plus HA serum. When I'm doing my client's makeup, I only use my AVEENO Balm and Sunscreen. So I use this as an additional step for me. I'm going to do 2 droppers. Then I'm going to do my AVEENO Balm. And then for the final step of my skin prep, I'm going to do sunscreen. Now I'm going to do the rest of my brow routine. It's easier to move the product around when I have more of a slip from my skin prep. I'm going to take the shade 50 Cafe from Fit Me and just curve out my eyebrows. Okay, so those are done. So now I'm going to take a triangle sponge and blend out the roughed edges. It does not have to be perfect. Our brows are done. I'm going to take the same concealer and just cover up any blemishes that I may have. I'm going to use the same sponge I was using before and just gently blend them in. Okay, so once those are covered, we're going to move on to the next step, which would be contouring. I use 2 products to contour. I'm first going to use my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the color Sunkissed. And I also like to use Fix Me in the shade 360 Mocha. We're on 2 brushes now. I'm a brush girl. I thought I would never be, but I am. I'm trying to make this budget friendly, so I'm going to use all of these brushes here. These are from Shein. I think in total this is probably like $12 for all of these brushes. I will use 2 brushes for applying my contour and my foundation. So these 2 brushes here, it doesn't matter which one you use. These were the perfect ones to select, so you won't need anything else to apply your foundation and your contour. One has an angle and one is just a fluffy foundation brush. I'm going to use this one for my contour and then this one for my foundation. I like to use the Putty Bronzer as my base for my contour. And I'll do the contour for my cheeks. So I have a distinct line to let me know where I'm going to put my powder, my concealer, and all that stuff. I just literally follow that line. And this does not have to be perfect because you're just using this as a foundation to put your main contour shade, which is my 360 Mocha from Fit Me. And see, I stopped right here because I can see that line on my cheek to let me know that this is where I'm going to be placing my concealer or my foundation color. So I'm going to come down now on like my chin area or my jawline. So everybody has a distinct line for their jawline, whether you're chubby, skinny. I have a double chin, so I can still see mine. So if you turn your head this way, there it is. You're taking your brush and you're just drawing that line like that. Once that line is on, what you're doing is you're going to blend upwards this way and blend downwards. And you're doing this very lightly. And now we're going to go downwards. Just like that. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. So here's my line. And then you're going upwards. That's done for the putty bronzer. I'm going to take Fit Me now in the shade 360 Mocha. And I'm going to pour a little bit on the back of my hand. Before I used to put it directly on my face. I don't do that anymore. I use a brush to blend it on the back of my hand, so it's a smoother application. And you're literally just going to go in the same spots where you put the putty bronzer. I'm now going to take some of that same shade and use it as a base for my eyelid color. And I bring it right to the edge of my nose and go all the way out. And blend it with my cheek contour. Now I'm going to do my foundation. I'm going to take the angle brush. It's the second brush from the first pack of brushes we used. I'm going to use a shade 355 in Fit Me. It is Coconut. I'm going to put it in the spots where I didn't put any product. And I'm pouring on my back of my hand like I did with the other shade. And you swirl it around on the back of your hand, even it out nicely, and you do a swipe. And you just do a swipe. And if you go too high like I did here, just take the previous brush you used, there's still product on it, and just blend it out. So there's no harsh line. I know everything looks like one color, but when you add other concealers and other cream products, everything will just blend out smoothly. And then I'll put some on my nose. And on my forehead just to blend out any harsh lines from the concealer and the contour shade that I put on my forehead. From this pack, you're going to take out a small angle fluffy brush. There's no names on these brushes, so it's going to be this one that I'm going to pick. I'm going to take some of my foundation shade, so the 355 on that brush, and go in the areas this brush couldn't reach. So like near my eyebrows and my baby hairs. Just to blend it out properly. So I'm going to use the same shade I used originally to shape out my eyebrows, and that's a 50 Cafe. And I'm doing a little dot here and a little dot here. And I'm taking the same sponge that I used to blend everything out, and you're just lightly tapping upwards. The other side. Taking a little bit on your chin, above your lips, and just a random line. Does not have to be perfect because we'll fix it after. We're going to take a clean sponge, and you're going to take a little bit of the 360 Mocha, just like the tiniest bit, and you're going to go on the edge of the sponge, just like that. And you're going to go all the way up your nose into your eyebrows. Come down a little bit. And then you're going to turn the sponge like this and blend. You're going to be very gentle because you want that line to be very soft. We're going to do the next side. Same thing. You don't need to go back in for more. You're just going to use what you originally had on the sponge all the way into the eyebrow. And then we're going to turn the sponge and go like this. We're going back to our under eyes. I'm going to take the shade 40 Caramel and just do one dot there. And blending upwards. We're going to go in with the shade 25 Medium. And you're gonna do a triangle or an open triangle and just press in the same spot for a little bit and then go around. And then you're gonna bring it up the bridge of your nose, but you have to be very gentle because you want this to be a soft transition into the contour shade on your nose. I'm gonna do that on this side too. Open triangle. Press, press, press in the same spot for a little bit. Go up and down, up and down, up and down. Go to the side. Barely touch your nose because you don't want to be a sharp transition. And it's okay if it's not perfect near like the corner of your eyes because you're gonna blend that out with a brush anyway, so it's fine. I don't have a drugstore blush. We're gonna be using the Fenty blush in the shade Daiquiri Dip. Sorry kids. I like to use a cream blush because I like to use all my liquids, creams, before I use any powder. It just makes everything a lot softer and smoother when you're setting everything. You're gonna take your foundation brush that we use to put the colors in between. Take as much as you can on the brush. And this is gonna be messy, but you're gonna blend it out properly afterwards. So you see that little transition between the light and the dark? That is where I'm gonna be putting my blush. And I like to go all the way up from here down to here. But again, it's gonna look messy. We're gonna fix it after. The reason why I use my foundation brush is because it still has the product from the foundation on it. So it will blend in properly. Or better, I should say. It's okay that we look cuckoo. I'm going to go back in with my contour brush and clean up here a little bit. I don't want it that far down. You're going to take 25 medium again, and you're just going to do a little dot. Take your sponge again. We need to blend this out. We can't look crazy like this. And you're going to go in the same spot. You're gonna go up and down and around. Ta-da! And we're gonna do to the other side, one dot. There we go. I learned that little hack when I was experimenting on my glands, but yeah, so this is where we're supposed to look now. It looks smoother, nice, yummy, juicy. We're done with all our cream products, liquid products. We're going to use powder now. You're going to need a triangle sponge. You could use two, but I'm just going to use one because we're trying to limit how many products and tools we're using so we can keep it as simple as possible. And I'm going to be using a pressed powder. This is my secret to a soft, nice airbrushed finish. Some people double up with setting powder. It's either this or setting powder, and I'm going to use this today because this is what I use for my everyday makeup. This is in the shade 230 Natural Buff. So you're going to take your sponge on your fingies and swipe, 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 swipe. This is what we're looking like. This is my hand. Tap, tap, tap. I'm also going to go and blend in any creases that I may have here. And you're going to be extremely gentle when you're pressing the powder puff on to the concealer and setting this area. And you also want to be very fast too when you're doing it. Come down. You're going to cover the blush a little bit, just a little, just gently tapping on the blush part. Okay, and this is how we're supposed to look on this side. And this is what this side looks like. Yes? Yes. We're gonna take the sponge again, and we're gonna go underneath because you can see the creasing. We're gonna fix that. Okay, and this is where we're at right now. I wish these brushes had names. They don't. You're gonna find this brush. Look at it. This is a blush brush from the pack of the several brushes, the ones that look like wood. You're gonna get a same color powder blush used. I'm gonna be using the Sephora blush Bomba Wool. Yikes! Then you're gonna get a powder blush that is the same color as the cream blush that you put on. This is in the shade Fascinated by Sephora. I do not think they make this anymore, but I used a peach reddish cream blush. I'm going to use a peach reddish powder brush. Okay, this is what it looks like. Swipe, pat, pat, and just lightly brush it over the powder that we set. I like to use different powders to set different parts of my face. So on my under eyes, I will only use Huda Beauty, the Sephora setting powder, pressed powder. And then for my other highlighted contour areas, I will use Ben Nye banana powder. So you're going to take the same sponge that we used to set your under eyes, and you're going to fold it in half like this. So this is what it looks like fully. And then you're just going to fold it in half like this. I had to use it like this. You're going to take the powder, it's folded in half, and you're going to go like this. Okay, there's a line there. So I'm just gonna go right here, and you can see that distinct mark that I was telling you about. I'm going to put the powder there, right there, just like that. See? And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Little line, pat, 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 pat. You don't want too much on there. Then I'm gonna take the tip . Typically, I would use the Bronze Duo from Juvia's Place. We're trying to do Drugstore. This is from Sephora, their pressed powder. This is in the shade Sienna Deep. You gotta be real gentle because they have crazy fallout. I'm gonna put this over my eyes as my base color for my eyeshadow. You take the sponge that you use for your contour and just blend out any creases. This is an angled brush from our wooden brush collection. I go all the way to the bridge of my nose and then swipe across. Does not have to be perfect. You're going to take the second smallest brush in the pack, and you're going to dip it a few times in the same shade. Very gently go up the bridge of your nose. So this is the next set of brushes that we're going to be using. One is to set your full face. The other one is to set your bronzer, which is what we're going to do now. It does not matter which one you use. I'm going to use this one to set my bronzer. I'm going to take another shade. This is in Hazelnut Deep Golden, and you set the areas that you contoured. You're going to take another fluffy brush. I wish these had names on them. These don't help. You're going to take another fluffy brush like the one that we just used before, but it's obviously going to be clean. I'm just going to show you at the end all the brushes we used at the same time. So we still have some banana powder. I don't like my face looking wet. I need it to look dry and matte before I set it with setting spray. So you're going to take that brush that we just selected, and you're going to set any area that wasn't set by powder already. So that would be underneath my eyebrow. And this does not need to be perfect. You just don't want anything wet. You're going to take your powder puff. There's not really anything on it. There's like, you see that residue here? That's what you're tapping into. Or like the extra fallout. And in between, here's where I put that. The same powder we put over our eyes, because we set it with the banana powder, just to make it a little bit darker, I'm going to go back over it a little bit more, just to bring out the color and make my eyes deeper. The highlighter I'm going to be using is Old as Hell. This is in the shade Glow Baked Bronzer. What is this brand? Milani? I'm going to assume this is Milani. The name is gone off of it. Third angled brush. I typically will use a highlighter brush, but this set doesn't have one, so that's okay. And I'm going to use my finger because I don't have a little brush to do this. Tip of the nose and right in here. Now I'm going to set my whole face with whatever's left from the banana powder. And when you're using these powders, you're literally using a little bit. You're not using a lot because you don't want to have that cakey look. For this purpose of this video, typically I would set with the e.l.f. setting spray and the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, but this is mortgage. So we're going to use this one and the SHEGLAM setting spray. I'm going to use the e.l.f. one first. And I get crease lines here. There's nothing on my powder puff. I just fold it in half and press. And press. So I don't get any creases. Okay, we're doing lashes now. These are my absolute favorite lashes from Shein. I have to find the code because I ripped it off. It's not on here anymore. We're going to do mascara now. This is from Maybelline in the shade Black is Black. For my lashes, when I'm applying lashes, they have a little corner. See that? I cut that off. And now when we're applying the lashes. This is a little lash hack if you want your lashes to stay on from dusk till dawn. You're going to apply directly to your eyes. Then you're going to take the lash themselves and you're going to apply glue to the lash as well. So while that's drying, I'm going to do my lip combo. And I'm going to take a little bit of the Ben Nye Banana powder, put it on the back of my hand. For the base of my lip combo, I'm going to take BFF 3 from ColourPop. I don't want my lash glue to dry all the way. You literally will be able to just plop it on. Once you put it on, you will not be able to take it off because it's basically cemented down to your eyelid. Okay, back to the lip combo. We did BFF as the base. Now I'm going to use NYX Madeline and then Ruby Kisses in the shade Baby Doll. It's going to be our base color. Then I'm going to take Baby Doll. And we're all done. This is my everyday makeup routine. When I'm going to work, going to run errands, this is what we put on. I tried my best. I haven't done a tutorial in so long. I know I was so in the zone. I just wanted to make sure everything was simple and easy. I did use all drugstore products. It was a little bit confusing with these brushes. Oh my god, these freaking brushes. There's no names on them. I'm gonna put the link for the brushes down below. Literally, this is all you're gonna need. I have extra brushes left over, even if I want to do a different look, which I didn't think I would, but I did. We had the two set that came together. I use this as my contour, setting my contour, and then I use this as my face brush. And then it's the brown brushes that threw me off. So these are the only ones that you'll need. Okay, so we used two angle brushes. We use a fluffy brush. I do believe I used this brush to blend the edges of around my eyebrows. And then one of these was used to set the wet areas, and the next one was for your nose. One was for your eyes, when you're setting the powder on your eyes. One was for blush, and then the other one I just happened to use for, highlighter. I'm going to get you screenshots of them. So these, I'm going to put arrows and the names of them on there. Okay? So this is from the brown set. This is all you're going to need. When you screenshot. You have these two. And then you have these two. And I will say what they're for. Two sponges. But those are all the tools that you're going to need to do this. And these are the extra brushes that we didn't use. So if you make a mistake or whatever, at least you have the extra brushes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is my makeup routine. I hope it was easy. I don't feel like it was, but I hope it was easy enough for you guys to follow, stop, Get back, stop, get back. I was just trying to explain it in the best way that I could, but this is my updated routine. I absolutely love it. There's no flashback. That's why I only use one setting powder, which was a pressed powder. Everything is just airbrush, nice skin finish. I always say take care of your skin first before you do your makeup, because your makeup will show how much you take care of your skin. So I will always push skincare before I push doing makeup. I'm going to list everything in the description box below as always, and I'm going to list steps with the products. So yeah, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share with someone who is looking for a airbrush makeup routine. I try to make this as simple as possible. I would say my favorite part of my routine right now would have to be my technique for my blush. Is just so nice and soft and sexy. I just love it. I love and appreciate every single one of you, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.